I'll say it. Manchester United did not deserve to win that game today against Newcastle. We weren't the better team. Newcastle ultimately got the 3 points, and it wasn't great for Manchester United from start to finish. If we're being honest, we couldn't capitalise on the fact that they had 10 men, and we couldn't get the job done. It's massively frustrating. It's a first defeat for Michael Carrick. But ultimately, as I said, you look at Manchester United, were we the better team on the night? No. And I'm sure a lot of Manchester United fans would agree in the fact that we deserved to lose this game. There wasn't enough quality, there wasn't enough fight shown when they did get the red card. And ultimately, yes, Manchester United had chances. You look at him, Burmo had one, Euro had one, Bruno put in a few beautiful crosses, he had a few chances himself. We just couldn't get the job done, and that was the nerve wracking thing going into the game. We knew United would have chances. Just saying James Park was a difficult place to go, and we seen all the things that we knew were going to happen. Newcastle start first 15 minutes looked good, energy, had a few chances, hit the bar, and then United go from there. And again, we just didn't show enough. They get the goal. Listen, it is a penalty. Bruno does kind of make contact with his knee, and it's a decent penalty. Like Le Mans penalties are difficult to save, and then you look at after that, they get the red card. Can United do anything? And I just don't think we capitalise on it. Obviously, we got the goal, and that's another assist for Bruno Fernandes on an individual, taking up to now 14 assists. He needs 7 assists to break the record in 9 games. I think so. Yeah, I think that's certainly something a positive. But as the team as a whole, I just don't think there was enough quality. I think defensively we weren't great. We did concede quite a few chances. Le Mans did have to make quite a few saves, and I just didn't think United as a team could really get going. I thought Cunha, he offered a threat down that side, but again in that final third, United weren't clinical enough. And I get Michael Carrick, it was a big move to bring on Xerxes and take off Casemiro and take off Menu, which I thought was probably the right decision to do. You're chasing the game, you have 10 men. But again, against Palace, that's another game we capitalised on just about. But this game away from home, we couldn't do it, and there were many opportunities there. And again, I'm not saying this is sort of now is the time to go in and Carrick and criticise him. I think this was the chance to get points and make points on teams like Villa, who got thrashed by Chelsea earlier today. So yeah, listen, it wasn't the greatest by Manchester United. It was quite a boring game. I think top four is the priority still, and that's where United should be going. I think we can't go in and criticise Michael Carrick. He's done so good in such a short space of time, and this is just one of those sort of learning curves that he will have to take. I think he would be massively unimpressed by the intensity and the quality, and I just don't think we offered enough. I think you look at the goal that they score. I mean, what is Malacia doing for that goal? I get he hasn't played football, but that is just basics. Like when the shot's actually being taken, he's not even looking at the ball. So yeah, Malacia for me was very, very poor. I don't know why he was on the pitch. I get Masrari was injured, but bring on a Heaven, bring on someone who's actually played football in recent. I think that's something where Carrick did get wrong. I think again we did look a bit clueless. Everything was trying to go for Bruno Fernandes again. As I said, I thought Cunha did well, but in Burma massively struggled. He could have had 1 or 2 chances himself, and we could have had 1 or 2 goals. I think the team as a whole just tried to go for Bruno too much, and that's what's been the problem over recent years. And we did miss that width again on the left hand side. I know Shaw played, what was it, the first 60 minutes, I think it was. But again, we couldn't really get forward. Again, Newcastle didn't offer much in terms of, I thought Alanga would be more of a threat, and I think they would cause more problems down there. But listen, United, the game was there for them. When you go down to 10 men, especially with it being 1-1 as well, going into the start of the second half, I thought United would go for it and have more chances. It was a more open game, and I thought United did initially so fight to get the second goal to get the first goal, but the second goal was there. And whether that's us being more clinical, I mean, we're not used to the feeling, and that's something that I think Carrick will try to figure out. We have 13 days now, I think it is, or 10 days till our next game to kind of dwell on this, which is not going to be great. There'll probably be a lot of talk about it in the media, but as a whole, United just weren't good enough. I think there's a multitude of problems. We can take all the positives that we can from the recent games, but there were more negatives shown in this game that we've seen in a while. I think, listen, you can't criticise the subs in terms of Ugarte, Xerxes. I think the Malastia sub was just weird. I get Masrari's injured, but as I said, just put someone out there who's actually played football recently. And I think that was a problem. But yeah, United didn't deserve to get the win. It would have been one of those where we kind of scammed the win and got the 3 points. So yeah, I can't complain on that. Newcastle were the better team and thoroughly deserved to get the job done. So yeah, credit to them. I mean, top four still on. United are still in third. Why is that Manchester United? I don't know. I don't know whether United could have capitalised on this. I mean, Malacia wasn't Malacia just wasn't doing anything, and yeah, it's frustrating. The 3 points were there, the opportunity was there, and yeah, United just couldn't take. And it's a brilliant finish. So yeah, listen, it's fantastic. Manchester United have now lost 2 Premier League games against sides with 10 men this season, Newcastle and Everton. Listen, we can't listen. This was a difficult game, even with 10 men or not. Newcastle were a very difficult team to play. There's no excuses though. I think for the fact that United should have been able to get the points. In terms of when, what was it, 60 minutes, I think they were down for 10 men if you include the additional time and the time in that first half. So that's an hour of football, and United just didn't create one clear-cut chance where I think, yes, this is the one they should have scored. There were half chances. Listen, Euro had that. Euro's chance was probably the best one. And Burma, again, just didn't look on it today. I would have took him off a lot earlier for Ahmad, in my opinion. But as a team, United just weren't good enough today. And that comes down to the fact of sloppiness, but also, listen, Newcastle being solid defensively and they were up for it. St James Park is never an easy place to go, and I think it's a big learning lesson for Michael Carrick. He learned a lot from the game. United just simply weren't good enough. In the final third, I don't think we created any chances for Sesko. There were a few half chances. He got nudged out of the way. He had that one chance as well. There weren't that many opportunities. Listen, on personal note, I think there's a few players that did well. I thought Maguire was alright today. I thought Le Mans again. I thought Mazraoui. I thought Casemiro, the goal that he scored, fantastic. Bruno gets another assist, could have had a few more if Euro scored. And others scored. Like, it was a good performance by him. Cunha as well, I thought he defended but attacked very, very well down that side. And Bruno struggled. A lot of the players struggled, and we couldn't get the passing lanes, we couldn't get the angles. I think we did deserve these points. And as I said, that Aston Villa game in 10 days is an absolute massive game for Manchester United. If we want to get into that top four, we have to really look at winning that game. We're at Old Trafford. I know the team will be kind of distraught after this, and they should be, because it's inexcusable, but I think that game is absolutely massive, and I'm hoping we can get the 3 points there. But to summarise this Newcastle game, it wasn't great. United should have got the job done. There's no excuses to not get the 3 points against 10 men. Newcastle fought. They got the goal on counter-attack, which is very poor defended by Malacia. I don't know what he was doing there. It's poor by Cunha to give the ball away, but Malacia is even poor defending. It's schoolboy defending if we're looking at it from that sort of point of view, and he should have done way better than what he did. But listen, Carrick, again, he's took this team to some positive places. He's climbed this high up the table. We've got a positive goal difference. We're still in third. I think we have 3 points on Chelsea anyway, which is fine. But yeah, ultimately you wanted to get the win. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.